Today, I'm sharing a modern retelling of The Gift of Magi by O. Henry, a timeless story of love reimagined in today's world. If you enjoyed these classic tales with a fresh twist, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more stories brought to life in new ways. Let's begin. $110. That's all she had, and 60 of those were already promised to the electric company, unless she wanted to experience living off the grid against her will. So that left her with about 50, which is the tragedy when Christmas is next week and you're broke, but in love. Della flopped onto her thrift store couch and counted the bills for the third time, as if maybe the math would change out of pity. It didn't. She buried her face in her hands and let out one of those long sighs that only young women with big bills and bigger dreams are capable of producing. Her husband, Jim, was just as broke. Between his low-paying job and the student loans that hunted them like bloodhounds, there wasn't much to spare. Now, Della and Jim had two possessions they were proud of. Della had her hair. Not just nice hair, glorious hair. Long, thick, influencer hair. Strangers in the street complimented it, and even when she hadn't washed it for 3 days, it still shined like a shampoo commercial. Jim, on the other hand, had his grandfather's watch, a slim silver timepiece that survived the 70s and 3 generations of questionable fashion choices. It was the kind of watch that didn't need a flashy logo to feel important. Della stared at her reflection in the mirror in her tiny bathroom. She loved her hair, but she loved Jim more. Which is why, with the bravery of someone about to do something slightly insane, she grabbed her coat, tucked her hair under a beanie, and headed out. She walked into a salon. Not the fancy kind with cucumber water, but the kind with posters of outdated haircuts taped to the walls. "Will you buy my hair?" she asked. The stylist raised an eyebrow. "Honey, this isn't Craigslist." But 30 minutes later, Della was walking out $200 richer and about 18 inches lighter. She felt the chill on her neck immediately. Well, she thought, at least turtlenecks are still a thing. With her new stash of cash, Della scoured the mall like a soldier on a mission. Finally, she found it, a sleek leather strap for Jim's beloved watch. Not just any strap, a designer strap, the kind that whispered, "I'm classy, but also cool." She knew it was perfect. She paid for it and rushed home, praying Jim wouldn't be horrified at her sudden bob cut. That evening, Jim came through the door looking tired but still managed to smile at her. He stopped mid-step, his eyes widened at her missing hair. "You cut it?" Della nervously twisted the short ends. "It'll grow back, just wanted to try something." She almost dismissed the question. "Wait till you see your present. Although it's early, but I can't wait." She handed him the package with all the excitement of a kid handing over a macaroni drawing. Jim opened it, stared at the strap, and then laughed. Half amused, half helpless. He dropped onto the couch and pulled a neatly wrapped present from his backpack. "Merry Christmas, Dell," he said, handing it over. "Although it's early." Inside was a set of high-end styling tools, straightener, curling wand, the whole deluxe package, the kind every beauty blogger raves about. Della gasped, "Oh, Jim, they're perfect, but my hair?" Jim held up his hand sheepishly. "And about the watch strap, I sold the watch to buy you those." They started laughing, holding the gifts that had suddenly turned into small, beautiful ironies. Then Della smiled through the tear that had started to sting her eyes, and Jim reached over to brush a short strand of hair from her face.